Now we got an interesting one today. I'm going to read it. So today we spoke about new baselines. One of the ladies was so proud today. So she's had lots of health issues and she's been working so hard, and her doctor was super proud of her as well too. So she was on the treadmill at the gym. She did 5 minutes at 4 kilometers per hour on an incline of 2, and she'd never done that before. So you explained to her this was her new baseline and why she shouldn't go back from there. Do you want to tell me, what transpired from there?
So she has had quite a few health issues, as I said, heart, knees, blood pressure, and she came to our older adults class,
Yeah.
and and this was on the advice of a doctor. You need to go and do some exercise. So she
Lovely.
came, yeah, and so when she first came to the class. She was on the treadmill and her speed was 1.5 k's an hour, I think.
Yeah.
So very slow, holding on. She would get puffed really easy, knees would hurt. And the longest she could go for was probably 2 minutes, I think, maybe a minute and a half, not very long. And yeah, fast forward, I think 3-4 months. We were doing our session 2 weeks ago, and she came up to me and she nearly cried.
Oh, lovely.
She was so proud of herself.
Yeah.
Because she had gone for 5 minutes, and that is the longest she's ever gone for. Mm-hmm. She was on a speed of 4 kilometers an hour. So, not only
2.5 kilometers increased, yeah.
Yeah, and not only had her body adapted to that, but her confidence had. And then she was on an incline, and for anybody with knee issues or balance issues or that sort of thing, inclines can be scary. Think hill outside. But it was just her face, like her face lit up, and she was just so proud of herself. And I said to her, oh my God, that is so wonderful. And I went, that's your new baseline.
Yes. Yeah.
And she's like, And I went, no, you don't get to go back from here because you can do it. And I think baselines are so important. And resetting your baseline is so important. Not even resetting it, adjusting it.
Adjusting it.
Your baseline should always go up.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, it should. I mean, identifying and being aware of what that is and how your body's responding is just so important. And it's part of what we do in the fitness foundations. That's the very first thing we do. We go, okay, we're going to do a review. We're going to see what your active balance is like. We're going to see what your stability is like. We're going to see, how well you can get up and down off the ground doing certain activities. There's lots of components to it. And then what we do is we go, well, okay, this is where you're starting from. So we're going to be assessing this in 5 weeks' time. We're going to have a look at it and go, where are you up to now? And then when you come to the training sessions and we're doing one of these particular activities, we might say, okay, we're going to do 15 of these, but your baseline is only 4. Then we're going to say to you, okay, you're going to do 4.
Yep.
You're going to take a rest, and maybe you'll go to an elevation of it, or maybe what we'll do is just after the rest, we might do another 4. So it just depends on where you are and, where you've started from and, what's going on with your body, what limitations there are. So we're going to be adjusting it specifically for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also it's important when you have your coach doing it for you, or pushing you to set your baseline, because you're not just going to just accept that that's it for you. If that makes sense. this is all I can do. No, it's not. It's not. We know you can do more.
Yeah.
Your body can do more. It's your mind that's telling you that I can only do 4.
Yeah, absolutely. Because then the biggest question is when you finish that training session, after you've done it, if we then say to you, could you do more now? Generally, the answer is yes, I could.
Yeah.
And that's because when you're full on into it, you think you can't do any more. And that's when you're, digging deep into that grit and that power and the resilience that you have within your body to actually do that little bit more. And Sal, your baseline is not just about, how your body responds to exercise. It's how it responds to different foods or, lifestyle changes or, just the different things that are going on around you as well too. Those, when life changes for you, there'll be a new baseline that comes with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect example, going back to the exercise part of your baseline, Miss Catherine, when we were doing our push-ups, we had push-ups in our PT. And so we were doing 3 sets of 10. And her first round, she got 4 push-ups out. And I said, okay, that's fine. You got 4 push-ups out. I said, on your next set, I said, I want you to get out 5. It's just one more rep, and that's what I need you to think about. I'm just going to try one more rep.
Yep.
And so she, in the second set, she got the 5 out. Remembering that her goal was 10 reps. On her third set, she got the 10 reps out.
Yeah.
So it was just her mind telling her, I can't do this, but her body physically could.
Yeah, absolutely. And, when you understand what those baselines are, really, really honing in on those fitness foundations, like what's my stability like, so what is my posture like? How is my balance?
And be honest.
Yeah, be honest about it.
Be completely honest. Yeah. Oh, I fall over after 3 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got to hold on going upstairs.
Yeah, can I stand on a leg for 10 seconds? No,
yeah.
I can do it for 1 second. So,
yeah,
then you know that. And it's not about judging yourself. It's about going, this is where I'm at right now. Okay. Yeah. And then understanding what your strength is like, your flexibility, your fitness, how puffed do you get when you're doing something? Yeah. So maybe your goal is to be able to get up an incline on a mountain, without puffing as much. Look, we're all going to puff when we go uphill. So it's just the degree of puffiness that we want to monitor. And I think that, you want to be able to look for different cues when you're looking at these baselines as well too, so are you fatiguing? Is there discomfort in it? Am I improving in my performance? So there's so many things to assess. And so I think that comes down to us girls. We're always so busy. I hate that word, but I'm going to say it. We're also busy doing things that what happens is we never take that time really to connect with ourselves or to be honest with ourselves. It's much easier to just do things as opposed to go, oh, hang on a minute. Oh, I can do this where I couldn't do that before. Or maybe I can't do something and I used to be able to do it. So,
and I know you are big on tracking it.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly where I was going to go. You read my mind. Yeah, for sure.
There you go. Great minds alike.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Track it. So for that client of yours, it's like you need to write that down in your diary. It's like, give yourself some gold stars and some stickers and whatever else around it, because you should be proud of that moment. I remember when Diane said, she was in her 80s and she's gone, I don't know why I'm doing this exercise nonsense. And then she went, and then I realized I can now do up my shoes, and I couldn't do up my shoes before. That's one of the things that I see my mother struggle with, just being able to get a leg up to put a shoe on, so and Paul's the same. I'm surrounded by them, can you put my shoes on?
But as women, our first go-to is the scales to measure, but Diane and Denise, they are non-measurables that you
totally
write down and shout about.
I reckon we should throw out the scales, girls. Just turf them out, because look, you can tell so much about your body in your clothes, in your measurements. And one of the most important things is, our body composition. And so I reckon doctors should all be throwing out the scales and having impedance devices, so actually checking people's body fat, because I think that's more telling as far as health is concerned, as opposed to, the number on the scale.
And scales,
Because I could have weighed 60 kilos when I was 18, and I could weigh at 60, I could weigh 60 kilos. I'd still be the same, but I'm going, I got this tummy thing because my body composition has changed, right?
Changed, exactly.
Yeah.
So
all sorts of things you could track, the workouts that you've done, the intensity, the duration, the weights you've lifted, the distance you've covered, and as well as all those subjective things, And I think it's important to track the progress as well.
Yeah, that's what I was coming to.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. In our FitFlex studio, when we do our fitness foundations, for the new baselines and that sort of thing, is every 3 months we do ours. So every 3 months, every 4 months. It's on the seasons we do ours.
Yeah.
Every season. But personally, I would be doing your baselines every maybe 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Because our strength increases after about 6 weeks. So if you are tracking it, do your baseline every 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think there's really only 3 points to this. Know your baseline, tracking, and I think the third one is winning, celebrating, acknowledging those small victories. Now, you don't have to throw a party about it. You could be someone who just has a little, yes, I did it,
Yes,
or you could share it with a coach, or you could share it with, a significant person in your life. There is just, different types of ways to celebrate. The only thing I would say is don't go out and celebrate eating ice cream.
No.
So make it something that's healthy.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes with those baselines, having a goal.
Yeah.
Like, what do I want to be able to do? So every year, as in an example, I go, okay, I'm going to do this. So 2023 was being able to go from a seated position to jumping. And so and because I've got those dodgy ankles from being a fitness trainer for so long and everything like that, I do have to have a little elevation. So the horse float, the back of the tray is perfect. It had this little elevation. So I could sit on the back of the tray and do this little, get up So I would just start by getting up until eventually I was jumping up and I went, yay, I can do it like the kids do it. And I think that's why the grandkids like spending time with me, because it's always active things that we do, as opposed to, you know, boring things. Sel, anything to wrap up
on? Remember to throw out your old baseline. As we said at the beginning, I said to Denise, you know, this is now your new baseline. Yeah. You don't get to go back to a minute and a half.
Yeah.
You know? So make sure you throw out that old baseline and start sticking with your new one.
I'm also going to add, so I want to finish with, if you're unwell, so if something's happened in your life and you've been very sick, then that baseline needs to be adjusted. So it's not going to be what it was. Okay. It may only take a small amount of time for you to get back to where it was, but depending on how unwell you've been, it could take a little while. So readjust your baseline to cater for that, you know, that period of time that you've had off as well too.
Yeah. You know, and that may look like, can I just set an example, Peter? That may look like, you know, for example, for Denise, who was 5 minutes incline of speed of 4, incline of 2. That may look to her, you know, 2.5 minutes at 4 with an incline of 2, having a 30-second break and then going for 2.5 minutes.
Absolutely.
You know, so you can break up that baseline when you are coming back from not being well, because you have not been well over the past couple of weeks. So if you are coming back from sickness or injury, that is how you could be breaking up your baseline as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for joining me, Sal.
Thanks for having me as always.
You're very welcome. Thanks, ladies, for being here with us. We hope you got something out of today, and that you will identify your baseline, that you will start tracking, and that you will celebrate all those little wins that you have. And we'll see you all very soon. Bye, Sal. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Peter.
Bye.